Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I want to talk a little bit about the video out now causing a lot of controversy and a lot of stir. Little Nas X, Industry Baby, featuring Jack Harlow, and kind of compare it uh, to a video a song I talked about in a video earlier today. Normani featuring Cardi B, Wild Side, and I mentioned in that video that a lot of artists explicit sexual routes uh, with music that's different. Today's music is a lot different than the music that people grew up with in previous eras. Whereas in previous eras, they would talk about sexuality, but they would talk about it in a less explicit way. Especially in the videos and in the songs, but more so on the videos. The videos they weren't back in the day in the '90s, in the '80s and '90s. They weren't allowed to talk or not talk really. They were show explicit nudity um, in music videos. BET didn't allow it. MTV didn't allow it. The most we ever got really on the straight guy side of things was Big Pimpin'. Girls on the beach, girls in bikinis, or Cisco, a thong song. And on the girls' side of things, for the ladies, all they really got was like genuine pony and stuff like that dancing. You know what I mean? Hints of sexuality, but not explicit sexuality. Sir Mix-a-Lot, Lisa, but Sir Mix-a-Lot wasn't. Yeah, he talked about big butts in the song, but they didn't really show the butts. You know what I mean? Like they showed it, but like in a cartoon way. More so by the '90s, you got to the uh, explicit sexuality rather than implicit sexuality. And for years and years in music, that's what it was. Music was always about sexuality, but it was implied sexuality. Uh, you know, it was what wasn't said. It was the mystery of sexuality rather than putting it all out there, you know, and telling people. So sexual healing songs like that is like a hint of sexuality. Madonna, well, Madonna was a little bit different. Lisa, I'm talking more so about um, urban urban music. Africa music geared towards African Americans or Latinos. Not really Madonna, who was geared towards a pop audience. Yes, she was very explicit for her time. I spoke about in the '80s retrospective when she went on the VMAs in 1984 and started humping the stage. That was scandalous at the time. Or back in the early 2000s when she did Britney Spears with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, where she kissed them, which segues me into a different point. Music and content geared towards an LGBT audience, like this song "Industry Baby" is, and kind of the song "Wild Side" is, kind of too. You know what I mean? Even though it's a male fantasy type of lesbianism and not actual lesbianism, like it doesn't feature studs or aggressive type lesbians. It features two women that are either bisexual or straight passing, touching each other, which is kind of like a male fantasy type of lesbianism, which is a male fantasy type lesbianism, and the kind of lesbianism that straight males like rather than actual lesbians. But that's just true. But you never really had music, especially um, in the urban genre of music. You didn't really have it geared towards an LGBT audience. In fact, you never did. Artists would hide that they were gay from the people, from the public, especially pop singers who wanted to come off as heartthrobs. People suspected for years and years that Cisco was gay, or that Ricky Martin was gay, and it was confirmed that Ricky Martin, yes, was gay. You know what I mean? But even in the pop world, and especially in the R&B world, they would hide it from the public, hide it from the girls, because it was thought in music that females wouldn't buy your records if they thought that you were gay. You know what I mean? Because it take away their fantasy of hooking up with you. So artists like Lance Bass, artists like Ricky Martin, like Lisa said, or like Cisco in the urban subgenre, they would hide that they were gay. You know what I mean? Because it would hurt their record sales. You want women and young girls and teenage girls and preteen girls to imagine themselves being with you, and they can't imagine themselves being with you if they already know that you're not into them because you're into something different. But with Little Nas X, it's kind of different because when he came out in 2019, he didn't come out as a he wasn't presented as a sexual artist. He wasn't presented as a Tyrese or a Genuine or a Cisco, somebody that was singing love songs to women, or Frank Sinatra back in his day, or a Ricky Martin. He wasn't a sex symbol in a way. He came out with Old Town Road, a goofy song that was a parody of country western music. There was nothing about that song that was sexual in any type of way. There was nothing about Panini that was sexual. There was nothing about Montero besides him dancing with the devil that was explicit or sexual in any of those songs. I think that Little Nas X is not sexual in the sense that he is appealing to any type of sexuality in a way. He's just provocative. He's just doing it to shock you. He's just doing it to push the envelope. Old Town Road, Lisa said she thinks was about drug use. Not really, Lisa. It was a parody. I mean, yes, there's drug references in the song. There's references to lean. There's references to other types of drugs. He says he got lean all in his bladder. So there is some references, some drug references, but no more drug references than are in any type of modern song since Lil Wayne anyway. That's mostly what uh, artists, trap artists, and drill artists really reference. A lot of drug use, especially promethazine cough syrup and prescription drugs, prescription pills. So I don't think it was really a drug song. I think it was a parody on what we think, we as non-country music fans think country music is. It was like the black version of every Post Malone song ever. Post Malone and artists like Post Malone and artists like Chet Hayes and artists like Riff Raff, they're kind of like a parody of rap music. It's almost like they're making fun of rap. All the stereotypes associated with rap, they're kind of making fun of it and they're kind of mocking it. And I felt like that was what Old Town Road really did with country music. And that's why a lot of the racist people and a lot of the Trump supporters and the racist country music fans got upset with uh, Little Nas, because they saw that he was mocking. It was a parody, a caricature of of what we think country music is anyway. Not what really country music really is, but what people think country music kind of is. So do I think it will get tiring? Yeah. I mean, this video, I'm not going to go into specifics, but this video is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Uh, that video caters to his audience because I think once he came out, people were like, "Oh well, you have this new audience that never been tapped into before. They never been spoken to before." But I think it makes it sort of comical. You know what I mean? Like people are not going to take it serious, and LGBTQ issues serious if you continue to present it too out there, too comical, too much of a character, too much like a joke, and just trying to shock people or shock conservatives into hating you. Because now you've already been trolling the conservatives with your Old Town Road stuff and your Montero stuff because you're intentionally mocking. But I think it will get old. Yes, I do. I think, like anything else, like with the violence, once they've seen it, you have to push it to another level, and another level, and another level. Like I said with WWE, where in the in the '90s, yes, doing that and doing the suck it and doing Sable and doing Sunny, that was that was cutting edge. That was state of the art. But then they had to push it to something different and something different. Once you've seen it, okay, I've seen it already. Now I want to push it further and push it further. So on television, yeah, Sex in the City. Sex in the City was kind of sexual. You know what I mean? Like they would just talk about sex on the show, but they wouldn't actually show it. Now you have shows like Sisters. Now you have shows like Run the World that they're actually showing you blatant sexuality on those shows. You know what I mean? They're showing you people having actual sex. So, and the same with violence. Okay, back in the day, it was a hint of violence, the hint of violence, and now it's the explicitness of the violence. So, back in the day, like Will and Grace and stuff, it was the hint of LGBT representation and the hint of LGBT sexuality. Now it's the explicitness of LGBT sexuality, which I don't really have a problem with. But okay, how much further can you take it? I mean, what are you gonna show next? You can't push the envelope any further, or else you'll push it off the ledge. So yes, it will get old, and you'll see a backlash against it. And it could be bad for the urban community, and it could be bad for the black community, and it could be bad for the LGBT community, because yes, but the downturn is going to be even worse, Lisa, because the downturn will lead to a backlash against these communities rather than the backlash against the artists themselves. But yeah, let me, right. Lisa said there's no MTV. There are no music videos anymore, so the channels can't censor them in the way that they could back in the day. And that's what I think a lot of social conservatives are upset about with not shows, videos like this or videos like that shit. But I think there's a lot of hypocrisy too, because people are okay with that shit and people are okay with WAP and people are okay with Normani's song, but they're against Little Nas X's song. But why though? Just because it's gay? Like he's catering to a different audience. So you know, he's catering to an untapped market. So either you like it, not like it, but either you accept it all or you accept none of it. You can't pick and choose. Okay, I accept some of it, and I don't accept some of it. There's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to this kind of judgment. But anyway, guys, peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell button to see when my next video is coming out. Love ya.